Something feels different at Heartland, and this time, it's not just another small family problem. A simple conversation about weddings suddenly turns emotional. Old memories begin to resurface, and hidden tensions slowly start growing between the people everyone thought understood each other the most. But the biggest surprise comes when an unexpected situation forces Amy to make a difficult choice that could change everything inside the family. At first, everything looks calm and normal on the ranch, but underneath that peaceful atmosphere, secrets, confusion, and emotional struggles are quietly building up. And by the end of this episode, one shocking moment may leave the entire family speechless. The episode begins with a surprisingly emotional mood as the family starts talking about wedding plans once again. What seems like a happy and exciting topic slowly becomes something much deeper. Jessica opens up about never truly getting the wedding reception she always dreamed of having, and for a moment, everyone becomes quiet. Her words don't just sound emotional, they sound personal, almost painful, as if she has been carrying that disappointment for years without ever saying it out loud. Jack tries to lighten the mood, but even he notices something strange about Tim's sudden excitement toward helping with the wedding planning. Normally, Tim avoids these conversations completely, but now he is suddenly interested in every detail, every location, and every decision. At first, it feels funny and harmless, but Amy starts noticing that Tim may have another reason behind his behavior. The more he talks, the more suspicious it starts to feel. Even Jessica looks confused by how involved he suddenly wants to be. But before anyone can question him too much, Tim quickly changes the subject and acts like everything is perfectly normal. Meanwhile, Lou is trying her best to keep things under control, but pressure is slowly building around her from every direction. She wants the wedding plans to go smoothly, but deep down, she is also struggling emotionally. Watching everyone talk about love, relationships, and family starts bringing back difficult memories she has been trying to ignore. There are moments where she looks distracted, almost lost in thought, and Amy immediately notices it. The bond between the sisters becomes more important in this episode because Amy can clearly tell that Lou is hiding something. But Lou refuses to open up completely. Instead, she keeps pretending that she's fine, even though her emotions are becoming harder to hide with every passing moment. The next morning at Heartland feels unusually quiet, and that silence alone makes Amy uncomfortable. Normally, mornings at the ranch are full of movement, conversation, and noise, but now everyone seems distracted by their own thoughts. Even breakfast feels tense. Jack notices it immediately, though he chooses not to say much. Years of experience have taught him that when emotions start building inside this family, pushing too hard only makes things worse. But Amy can't stop thinking about the conversation she overheard the night before. Tim's voice keeps replaying in her mind, especially the way he sounded worried instead of confident. That alone is enough to make her suspicious, because Tim almost never lets people see his vulnerable side. Now, Amy starts wondering if the wedding planning was never actually about helping Jessica at all. Maybe it was connected to something much deeper that nobody else knows about yet. At the same time, Jessica begins noticing changes in Tim too. At first, she tries to ignore it, convincing herself that he's simply stressed or emotional, but the strange behavior keeps becoming harder to explain. One moment he's overly excited about planning details, and the next moment he disappears completely, avoiding conversations and acting distant. Jessica starts feeling hurt by it. The episode takes an even more emotional turn when Amy finally decides she can no longer ignore the truth hiding around her. The documents she discovered in Tim's office continue haunting her thoughts, and every time she looks at him now, she sees someone carrying a burden far heavier than he wants anyone to know. But what troubles Amy the most is not just the possibility of financial problems. It's the fear that Tim may have been trying to protect the family alone while silently falling apart himself. That realization changes everything for her. For years, Tim has made mistakes, acted stubborn, and pushed people away. But underneath all of that, he has always loved his family deeply. And now, Amy begins wondering if his strange behavior was never selfish at all. Maybe it was desperation. The tension inside the house becomes impossible to ignore during dinner that evening. Everyone is sitting together, but emotionally, they feel miles apart. Jessica tries to talk about wedding ideas again, hoping to bring some positivity back into the room, but the energy feels forced. Tim barely responds, Lou seems distracted, and Amy keeps glancing toward Tim, unsure whether she should confront him or stay silent a little longer. Even Jack notices the uncomfortable silence growing between everyone. There's a moment where he quietly puts down his fork and simply looks around the table, realizing something is deeply wrong. But before he can say anything, Tim suddenly excuses himself and leaves the room. The strange part is how fast he leaves, almost like he can't handle being around everyone anymore. Jessica follows him outside, and what begins as a calm conversation quickly becomes emotional. For the first time, Jessica openly asks Tim why he's been acting so distant lately. At first, he avoids the question, like always, making excuses and pretending everything is fine. But Jessica refuses to let it go this time. She tells him she feels like he's hiding something from her, and the pain in her voice immediately changes the atmosphere. Tim finally admits that things are more complicated than she realizes, but before he can explain further, he